Hi, this is Tracy from GiftBasketappeal, and today we're going to be making some cool and artsy bookmarks. So let's get started. The really fun thing about this project is that I call it mindless crafting, meaning you're just not thinking about it, you're just doing it. And so what I did was I pulled a lot of my scraps and stuff from my stash together to see what I could find, because I've got boxes of scraps. So if you're like me and you do a lot of paper crafting, you're going to accumulate a lot of stuff. And so I just want to show you one of the boxes. I've got about 5 or 6 of these heavy boxes just full with stuff. So I think the best way for me to use it is to make something out of it. Oh, this looks pretty cool too. So I just pulled a bunch of papers out to see what I could come up with. So I'm sure you have boxes like this too. I also have some yarns, some jute twine, baker's twine, so I may end up using some of this too. So I've got a bunch of stuff on standby. I just went through, saw some stuff that I liked, and just pulled it together. So look at the shape of these right here. These are cereal boxes or oatmeal boxes, anything that I have in my stash. You know I love to use whatever I already have. I cut them up using my stamping block. And I just thought that the shape of this, I've been doing a lot of projects with this lately, using my stamping blocks to create something else, just tracing around them, because they have an interesting shape. These are actually the Inka-Dinka-Doo stamping blocks that I use for my card making. And these just have these interesting shapes that I really like. So I'm going to be using that longer one to make my bookmarks. I try to make this process as relaxing as possible. So I just want to show you some of the papers I'm working with. And you may have seen these in some of my recent videos. So I just cut up some larger papers and now they're smaller and I could use them to make these bookmarks. So the first thing you're going to have to do, let's see, I'm going to pull out this one, is cover your cereal boxes. Or we're not even going to call them cereal boxes anymore, we're going to call them bookmarks. And in order to do that, if you haven't seen it in my previous videos, I'm going to go ahead and go through the process on one of these, just to show you how I cover them. And for this, I'm going to cover both sides. You just want to make sure you're on the edges there. Okay, you're going to turn your paper over, and of course this is beautiful paper on both sides. That's why it becomes so difficult to choose a side, but this will work. I'm just going to kind of press this down so it adheres really well. And I'm going to come in just a little bit closer, just to make sure you can see everything. Okay, so once I have that on there, I'm just going to cut around it. Okay, so that's what it looks like on one side, and I'm going to be covering both sides. Now, if you don't have enough paper to do both sides, it's okay to have mismatched paper. You're making a work of art, so the paper doesn't have to match. No rules here. That's the nice thing about mindless crafting. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and cover the other side of this. Okay, so now it's covered on both sides, and once you have it covered, you can go ahead and punch a hole through the top. If you don't want to punch a hole through the top, you don't have to. You can leave it as it is, but I like to put some yarn or string or jute twine along the top. It just makes it look fun. And what I also like to do, I don't want the cardboard showing through the sides. So I'm going to take my black Copic marker. And you don't have to do this. It's just something I usually do. Just giving you some little tips and tricks that I do. And then I'm just going to just go across the edges like this. And that way that cardboard isn't showing through on here. Okay, so that's all I'm doing with this. It just gives it that extra something around the edge so it doesn't look like it has cardboard under there. But if you want to leave it the way it is, you're certainly welcome to do that. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and cover a few more of these, and then I'll come back and show you what it looks like. Okay, so this is what I have so far. And so most of them I just kept them the same, except for this one. So if you have like tiny pieces of paper, you can still use them to cover up your bookmarks. And see, I just took all my little pieces of paper and just, with this one, I actually used my glue stick. Simple as that. Just slather it all over, make sure it's really covered, and then just press your paper on. And so look how fun that looks on both sides. So I'm going to use this side. I did notice that everything is kind of like a green tone, except for this one. I don't know but it's coming together. So I did pull out some of my washi tape, and look how pretty that is. And these are like the Dollar Tree washi tapes. I'm not sure if you can see that. So I have these lines across here, so I'm going to use those to just add my washi tape on. So maybe my mind is going towards green. I didn't even realize that when I was picking my papers, green was what I was going for until I just looked at all of them. So that's the whole thing about the mindless crafting, is that you're really not thinking about it. But I must have some green on my mind. Okay, so you see I'm just adding my washi tape on there. And you don't have to do this. I just feel like I like the way this looks. It's got like little flower details on there, the washi tape. It's really easy to rip too, so I'm just going to take that and just cut off any excess I have. Oh, I could just tear that off. It's actually that easy. Okay. Good way to use up your washi tape on these. So I'm just creating a pattern on here. Okay, and that's what I have so far on that one. And then with this one right here, I'm going to add a little bit of pink. I made my own borders. I was just kind of playing around and was doodling on one of my borders with some markers. So I'm going to add this to this one right here. Let's see if I can do this now. I'm just kind of measuring this out to see what it would look like. Do another one down here. I think that would work. All right, this is nothing fancy. It's just some cardstock that I said, let me just doodle on it and see what happens. And it came out just fine. I'm using all kind of glues on this today. You just put it on and then you just cut away. Who says you can't have polka dots and flowers? Okay, and I may go ahead and add other stuff to it, but I'm just kind of working my way down the line here and having so much fun because I could work on more than one thing at once. And look at these stickers, they're so cute. So I love the way that brown looks. It's got a little bit of brown in here too. And this actually has a little bit of a raised up edge. Now if I wanted, I could take just the heart and pull it off, but I think I'm going to see if I could use the whole thing on here. Let's see. And you notice I'm keeping my artwork, because it's raised up a little bit, I'm trying to keep it up on the top a little bit. Just raised up a little bit. And the reason why I'm doing that is because when I put it in my book, let me just show you an example here. When I use it in my book, I kind of want it to be sticking out with the part that's raised up so it doesn't get squished. So just something to remember if you're going to use that. But I think that looks really, that's going to look so good. And I'm not even finished yet. And of course, what would that be without having my stitching on it? You know, I always got to do that. So I think it will look better with some white stitching on this. I'm going to get my Uniball Signo gel pen, one of my favorite tools to use. And I'm going to go right around the edges here and make my stitching. Because if you've watched my other videos, you know I love to do the stitching on these. And I love these Uniball gel pens because it just glides right on. It's so easy. And at first it's just a little bit wet, but it doesn't take very long to dry. So if you're going to be doing this, just try not to get your hands on it yet until it's dry. And you can doodle on here, you know, make little things on here. If you want to do some squiggly lines, you can. I know one of the things I absolutely love is just kind of making up my own stuff. So you're creating a pattern on top of another pattern. And I guess this would be a backward S with some dots. And I didn't think about this, I just said, let me go ahead and do it. Just because something looks a certain way doesn't mean it can't be altered. And I'm really loving this. Mindless crafting. And in mindless crafting, there's no mistakes because you're the one creating all the rules. If we just get away from not thinking so much, it's amazing what we can create. Okay, so that's just about done on that. And I'm going to let that dry for a little bit. But look how cute that is. Let me just show you close up. So these are I'm really loving that. Okay, so let's go ahead and see what we can do with these. Pull out some more stuff. I've got more stickers here too. Looking over on the side and I was like, oh, wait a minute. I've got some more stuff I can decorate with. This is really pretty. And this is almost cloth-like. Let's see. What if this one will fit right over that hole? That would be perfect. Let's see what we can do. I'm going to take the backing off of this. See, I'm altering my stickers. It has a little mounting sticker on there. And look how the colors just go together. I think my glue gun would work on this one. Yep. See how my glue gun works on this. Okay, and let's see if I can get this on okay the first time. And I'm just lining it up right above the hole. Not knowing that that would go well together, but it works. And look at that. I didn't know that that would come together like that, but it's coming together. Okay, let's see what else I can do to this. I think it needs a little bit more of a border around it. Just a little bit more, just to bring it out. And you may not like the border, and that's okay. Remember, you're making your own rules on these. As long as you're inspired by something that I did in this video, we are good to go. And I already know I'm going to add some kind of jute twine to this. I just think it will go really well with this style. So basically, you're just pulling out all of your stuff and you're having fun. And that's what we have so far on that. And let's see what we have with this one here. I kind of like the way this sticker looks. I'm going to cut it. I think I'm going to cut it. Why not, right? And it's another one of those like raised type of artworks on there. So I'm going to just, I may have to cut it even more, let's see. Ooh, I like that. I am really liking that. I'm just going to cut that edge off right here. Just remember, everything will come together on its own. You don't have to think about it. I know I keep saying that, but not thinking is like one of the hardest things to do. I'm going to put a little bit of art glitter glue. It dries fast and it dries clear. That's why I like it so much. And look at that. Look how pretty that is. It goes really well with that, with the green on there. And I actually have this looks kind of red, but I see another thing I can use, another sticker that I can put on here. Maybe right along here, put it here. But since I'm not thinking about it, I'm just going to go ahead and put it right there. And these stickers are from Dollar Tree. Aren't they pretty? I mean, they're really pretty. Okay, and I think this needs some, it needs some stitching on it. I know, y'all are probably tired of me putting this little stitching on it, but I'm going to use the red Uniball. This is the matching one to the white. And I'm going to just put some stitching right around here. I mean, if you want to do dots, you can. If you want to mix and match lines with dots, you can do that. It's your own creation. And right now my desk is an absolute mess, and I love it. If you had a tough day at work, guess what? This will definitely de-stress you. Just creating something beautiful. You may not have had a good day, but creating something beautiful, something that you can have control over, where there are no rules, this is great. So what else? See what else I can add here. I've got some of these circles that I always keep, and I've cut out. Nope, that would take away from it. Let's see. I'm just trying some stuff out here. Let's see what we got. If I want to add anything in here, and I might not. So sometimes I'll take my circle punch, and I'll just cut circles out of like little bits of paper, and I could use them in a project for later on. But I don't think this will work for this one. Let's see. Nope. So we'll put that aside. Let's see what else we got here. I'm going to go ahead and move to this one right here. And maybe come back to this one, but this one might be done. We'll see. I always say that, and then it's like, not really done yet. So I want to add a flower to this. Let's see if this will work on here. I think it's a little bit too much, so I'm going to leave that alone. Let's see what I have over here that I could put on the, excuse me, on the top of this. It would be nice if I can get that bird in there. I don't think that's going to work on that. This right here is so cute. I'm liking this sticker right here. I'm going to go ahead and do it. I actually like these right here too. I know y'all are yelling at me through that camera, Tracy, don't think about it. My own words coming back to haunt me. I like that right there. Yep. So there we go. I'm going to put that right in the middle. Right there. Just like that. And then I'm going to take something from one of the other stickers. Let's see if I can find something cute here. Oops. I want to put something at the top. So when it hits me, I will definitely know. So cute that life is beautiful. I'm going to take one of these stickers off of here. And I'm going to put it, I can either put it this way, or I can put it like that. And this one is raised up. I'm going to add a little bit of something to it so that it'll be a little bit more, it'll stay on. Yeah, that's what I was trying to say. Okay, give that a little bit of time to dry. And look how artsy these look. I am really loving this. Love creating these. Look at that. I hope y'all are finding some ideas from this. And I've got to put some kind of border on this. I can't help myself. I'm going to use my white, and all I'm doing is going in the green because I just feel like it'll show up better on the green. I know, don't yell at me about the stitching. I can't help it. Doesn't it make it look so much better though? And my dog is under the table right now, hemming and hawing. Okay, look at that. Oh my goodness, I love it. Look what I'm going to do now. See, all of this is space for art. All of it. Every single bit of it. It'll all come together. You just have to start. Don't try to figure it out from beginning to end. Um, some of my crafts I do have to figure out from beginning to end because I'm trying to teach you something. But for like crafting like this, I'll tell you, sometimes I don't have it figured out. We'll see how it looks. Oh, I'm really liking this. Okay, and look how pretty that is. Just adding that little bit and filling up a little bit of space, that really works. I don't want, this is still drying. So look how cute that is. I'm really loving that. And you can do like, you can add like glitter drops. You can do the little stickles. You can add onto those too. So there's just so much you can do with it. If you ever find some elongated shapes, feel free to use those. So I'm going to go ahead and put some of my jute twine on here. Let that one dry a little bit. Move this over. But I am having a really good time doing this and sharing it with you. And a lot of times people don't like the longer videos, but I'm not in a rush and I love to communicate with you. I love showing you things, and I like teaching in a relaxed environment. When I was a librarian, but to me, always a librarian, and the kids and I would do craft projects, bookmarks were so much fun to make, and the kids enjoyed it too. And I think the parents enjoyed it too. They would join us also. So that's one of the things I love doing, and seeing what the kids would come up with. Like what is in those little minds, and you'd be amazed at what these kids would create, especially when you allow them, when you take away the fear of creating, where you're saying there's no mistakes, whatever you create is perfect because you created it. And the kids' eyes would just be like, oh my goodness. And I would tell them, look, it doesn't have to be like mine. Make your own. Do your own thing. And so you just see those little faces like, really? I can create my own? Yep, you sure can. And let's see. I think I'm just going to use one of these on this one. These Dollar Tree flowers, these stickers from Dollar Tree are something else. That's going to have to be one of my stops, like where, you know, that spot in every store that you're going to just, as soon as you get in the door, you're just going to make a beeline for that area. The sticker area in Dollar Tree, do not sleep on it. I mean, you're really going to find some amazing things over there. And you know what? I'm looking at something. While I'm doing this, I'm looking at something that's tying in another color for me. And these are something that I made before. No, let's see if that will work. It's just got a little thing of coffee on it. And if I put it on there, I'm just going to lay it flat. I'm not going to have it raised up because I want to keep that flat area there. It looks like it'll fit right in between there. I have to look at that for a little bit. I think I'm going to end up adding that in. Yep, I like it. And the nice thing is that you don't have to like it. Basically, when you're creating, only you really have to like it. I mean, unless you're creating something for someone else, but they should like it too. Because it's a gift from you. So I really hope that you are enjoying this. I know I'm enjoying sharing with all of you. I mean, crafting is something that I'm very passionate about, and teaching is something that I'm passionate about too. And so if you can be able to combine the two together is a real blessing. And it's also fun to learn from many of you too. Many of you have sent some really good tips and tricks that you use in your crafting. And so that is always a good thing. You never stop learning. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put this on here. Look, mindless crafting. Who would have thought? So much fun. And you could do this while you watch your favorite show or listen to some music. You know, you don't have to be in a rush all the time. And I think that's one of the things in life, we're always in a rush. Take the time. Definitely, I can appreciate take the time and smell the roses. I really appreciate that now. I wish when I was younger I would do that, but always in a rush. So it's always good to take time. Do something that makes you feel good. Crafting makes you feel good, then do it. Okay, so I'm going to stop. I'm going to stop talking and finish these off, otherwise I'll have y'all in here the whole day. Okay, so look at those. I mean, okay, before we started, they looked like this. And now they look like this. Wouldn't this be perfect attached to some kind of gift or put in some type of gift bag? This would make a great teacher's gift. I was working on some for my daughters, and let me show you what they look like. And these are like some scrapbook letters. Look at this. I put their initials on here. And I was like, oh, I can't find a capital A for my younger daughter, for her name. And I was like, you know what? Who says I can't use a lowercase? There's no rules. So I went and put some artsy paper. I used some of those circles, the circles that I had cut out. And then I went in with some gel pen, my white gel pens, and I outlined it in black. And I thought this would be so cute for them, for my daughters. And then on the back, what I did was I just wrote out their names, and for each letter I said something that was what was wonderful about them, what I thought about them. And so I thought that was a nice message to put on the back of there. For my oldest daughter, I did another one. She's going to appreciate this because she's so artsy, and she's always telling me how talented I am. And you know, I'm saying that because, oh, you're saying that because you're my daughter. And when I used to tell her how talented she was and how artistic she was, she's like, you're only saying that because you're my mom. But I wanted to make something for them. And then on the back for her too, for her name, I just wrote out what the letters would stand for. And look what I covered it in the back. The recycled paper from the envelopes that you get your bills in. So, yep, I'm pretty sure they're going to enjoy these. I wanted to share those with you, and I hope this inspired you to make something beautiful and something wonderful. I will put a supply list down below of all the possible things you could possibly use to make some artsy bookmarks, and I really hope you enjoyed this video. I know it was a little bit longer, but I'm so glad that I could share this with you. Please give this video a thumbs up, and if you haven't joined our crafty family yet, please go ahead and subscribe. I'll see you real soon. Bye.